for the King and Queen, starting this state visit to mark the 250th anniversary of the United States. A welcome and a salute. And at the bottom of the stairs, Ambassador Monica Crowley, who is the Chief Protocol Officer and the Assistant Secretary of State. And being received by the United Kingdom Ambassador also, Sir Christian Turner, recently in office. And his wife. And in every respect, the Ambassador of the United Kingdom, working closely with Ambassador Monica Crowley, have put together this visit. And the Queen is receiving a posy of flowers from one of the children of a member of the British Embassy staff. And also another from Sam, who's 8 years old, and the child of one of the commanders of the Royal Navy working at the embassy too. Chance for the staff who have been responsible for Joint Base Andrews. Andrews is the name taken from the Lieutenant General who was killed in the Second World War, who was one of the founders of the United States Air Force. And the Defence Attaché of the United Kingdom, the Air Vice Marshal, welcoming his king. James Roscoe, who is the Deputy Head of Mission and was temporarily acting as ambassador. He used to work in the royal household. He was part of the press office for Elizabeth II, and other members of the British Embassy staff welcoming the King and Queen. And through the honour cordon made up of the United States Army, the United States Navy, the United States Coast Guard and the United States Air Force, the King and Queen are escorted by Ambassador Crowley to the cars that will convey them directly to the President and First Lady at the White House. It's quite a long journey, but it will be time for the King and Queen to recover from their flight. And you can see the presence of security even here in Joint Base Andrews. Very high for the King. We hear the national anthems of the United Kingdom and the United States. It was the King's 5 great-grandfather, King George III, who was informed that the 13 colonies in America had declared independence in 1776. A relationship since then that has been fraught from time to time, but which has seen monarchs of each generation play their part. And it was the King's great-grandfather, George VI, that came to the United States, the first monarch to visit, in 1939, at a time of great peril for those who were to ally ultimately and defeat Nazi Germany. Today, the King is in his own challenging role as head of state, and to meet the head of state of the United States at a time when the United Kingdom faces its disagreements. But undoubtedly, the King and Queen have a relationship with the President and the First Lady, and it will be precisely when everyone is prepared for the journey that will pass through the roads to the White House, and it's in its own way very well planned, and the security very cautious, as the United States Air Force Band of Joint Base Andrews has played those two national anthems, and the United States Marine holding the Union flag as that infanteer holds the United States Stars and Stripes. And whatever the next few days begins, this is a traditional head of state visiting another head of state, one of the highest profile of recent years, as the King carries the responsibility of representing His Majesty's government and its policy here in the United States. And following the King and with the King are a number of people from the government and supportive elements of the diplomatic efforts of the United Kingdom to deal with all the issues that sit between the United States and the United Kingdom at this time. With the security guards now moved to the other cars, the procession moves off, and for the King, the start of this state visit, principally to mark the extraordinary relationship that has led to war between the two nations and the fighting of wars by the two nations. For the King, it starts now, and he has 4 days, 3 in Washington, then up to New York, and then he will return via Bermuda to the United Kingdom. But his duty to represent the United Kingdom, to continue the work done on a number of visits by his mother, Elizabeth II, who was here for the 200th anniversary of that Declaration of Independence in 1976.